This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
It was kind of a shock to see that we were getting closed on Friday.
Other Catholic school in our area getting ready to close its doors. We've learned St. Monica and Creve Coeur will shut down after this school year. Good afternoon. I'm Brent Solomon.
And I'm Kay Quinn. The Archdiocese says declining enrollment led to the announcement late Friday afternoon. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel joins us live from the school in St. Louis County. Justina, what more can you tell us?
Well, I spoke to one parent. He says he's angry, upset, and concerned. He said families received a letter on Friday noticing them about the closure. Now, this is all a part of the All Things New plan, the restructuring plan within the Archdiocese of St. Louis. A letter sent by the parish's priest said the century-old school has faced challenges for the past several years due to low enrollment. Chris Miller, the school board's president, said they learned at the beginning of the school year about the potential termination. That's when they were able to raise thousands of dollars and create a feasibility report. However, he says the Archdiocese rejected it last week. Now, Miller has 3 kids at St. Monica. I also spoke with parent Tim Kaltenbach, who has a daughter in the school too.
As parents, we've had to hold our sobbing kids and listen to them, cry about, what am I going to do? What about my friends? What about my teachers?
We thought things were going good. We were already ramping up for the next year, and then now we have to start all over again.
The Archbishop also sent a long statement on Friday saying, in part, the parishioners of St. Monica can indeed be proud of the long history of educating children in the faith. I am profoundly grateful to them, end quote. Now, the church at St. Monica will remain open. Reporting live, Justina Coronel, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Justina. Let's take a live look at Kirkwood. A frosty morning in parts of the bi-state. Hopefully you were able to cover that tender vegetation.
And it looks like we won't need to worry about any more frost for a while. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with your Weather First forecast.
Yeah, we're looking pretty quiet around St. Louis at this hour. And, we're going to be dealing with a scenario playing out where the colder temperatures continue to squeeze away, and we shouldn't have to deal with cold mornings like we had this morning for a while. Cool, but not frosty for some of us. Right now, you look across the region, we do have a mostly sunny sky. You're looking out into St. Charles at this moment. And yes, at this point, temperatures are in the 60s, close to 70 degrees for many of us. DeSoto's popped in with 74. That might be a touch on the high side, but St. Charles and Sullivan both at 70 degrees. Big warm up from where we were this morning. Baldwin at 31, so was Pacific. Arnold at 33. It was 35 in St. Charles. 35 degrees out in New Melle as well. Our temperatures continue this afternoon to be pushed by that nice sunshine and a southwest wind. The only thing coming our way, those high thin clouds. You saw a few of them on the satellite picture, and that's basically it tonight. Milder, we'll get just a few clouds. Showers for tomorrow afternoon, but not a lot in the rain gauge. However, late in the week, it gets stormy again, and that looks to move us into the weekend. Not continuous rain, but a severe weather threat. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Scott, we'll see you then. Opening statements today in the trial of a man accused of killing a St. Louis police officer and wounding another. Thomas Kenworthy was arrested for killing Officer Tamaris Bohannon back in 2020. He pled not guilty by reason of mental illness. Kenworthy had undergone months of health evaluations, and according to Kenworthy's attorney, multiple people, including his ex-wife, say he's been struggling with symptoms for years now, stemming from childhood trauma.
Amy will tell you that Tommy often suffered from paranoid delusions and often thought people were out to get him, were following him, when there was nothing of the sort happening in the real world.
Officer Bohannon's widow was the first person to take the stand today. The trial is expected to last about 2 weeks. 5 on your side's Christine Byers will have more on today's opening statements coming up at 6. Charges issued in a hit and run that sent a 9-year-old to the hospital over the weekend. Police say 50-year-old Kevin Johnson struck the child while speeding down North Broadway. That crash pinned the young boy between his parents' car and Johnson's car for half an hour until emergency services arrived. Officers say he ran away after that crash, but then turned himself in hours later. Johnson is facing charges for endangering the welfare of a child, assault, and leaving the scene of an accident. He's being held without bond.
Two people now facing charges after a 4-year-old found a gun and shot himself in the leg. It happened Saturday on Green Valley Drive in North County. According to court documents, the boy's mother, Cornelia Brew, was lying next to him on a bed at the time of the shooting. Another suspect, Tawan Smith, was also in the house at the time. Both are now facing charges of endangering the welfare of a child. They're being held on a $250,000 bond.
A man is dead after being hit by a pickup truck driver this morning on Route 30. It happened around 5:20 this morning in Jefferson County near Northwest High School. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, that driver was heading east while 59-year-old Norman MacArthur was standing in the road. Other cars swerved to avoid him, but the pickup driver did not stop in time. MacArthur died on scene.
A landscaping company in Jefferson County is trying to replace nearly $25,000 worth of equipment. Thieves broke into Dalton's Lawn and Landscaping near Gravois and Little Brennan around 6 a.m. Friday. According to the company's owner, the burglars went through the front fence of the property. Backpack blowers, trimmers, chainsaws, even a dump truck that was about to be licensed were all taken. The company's owner says some of that equipment hadn't even been used.
I honestly was in disbelief because it had just been at the shop. I was like, why wouldn't they have taken it when it was sitting there for a week or two prior? So really just confused and then outraged that it was fully repaired, ready for operations, and no one had even had an opportunity to drive it yet.
Now, in the past 5 minutes, we learned the owner received a phone call from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. That truck has been found. 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan will have more on this story on 5 on Your Side at 5 and 6.
Opening statements today in a historic criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. Prosecutors accuse Trump of illegally giving hush money payments to an adult film star ahead of the 2016 election. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
Protesters and the media lining the block as the first American president to face a criminal trial. Here's the case against him laid out.
I'm here instead of being able to be in Pennsylvania and Georgia and lots of other places campaigning, and it's very unfair.
Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to charges of falsifying business records to conceal a hush money payment, to cover up an alleged affair with a porn star, when prosecutors say he was in damage control after the release of the Access Hollywood tape just before the 2016 election. Quote, this case is about criminal conspiracy, arguing Mr. Trump colluded with his former fixer, Michael Cohen, to catch and kill negative stories to influence the election. Quote, then he covered up that criminal conspiracy by lying in his New York business records over and over and over again. Former President Trump's defense attorney noted he was not charged with conspiracy here. He attacked Cohen's integrity and said the former president was innocent, insisting he had nothing to do with the Cohen payments and adding, quote, I have a spoiler alert. There's nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. It's called democracy. Prosecutors acknowledge that Cohen has made mistakes in his past. He admitted to lying under oath in a separate case, but stressed his testimony will be backed up by emails, documents, and former President Trump's own words on tape. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And still ahead, a major Jewish holiday begins at sundown, where people will celebrate Passover with neighbors and friends.
Pro-Palestinian protests ramp up on college campuses across the country. The school where a rabbi is urging students to go home to get away from the demonstrations.